Disney's Strange World is their biggest failure, or one of their biggest failures. So the next movie we're talking about is a film I already talked about, as I mentioned, which is Wish. I will see you then, and I can't wish to be done with this. Apparently Disney saw the finished product and decided, hey, we're not marketing this thing, so this was a crap, and the movie bombed terribly, losing them a lot of money. So is the film that bad? Well, yeah, it is. Strange World is more like Lame World or Shit World. It's just not a good movie. And yeah, if you like it, that's good on you. I know that somebody in the future will see, I saw this when I was a kid. That automatically means it's good. Trust me, I saw some shit when I was a kid, and it doesn't mean that's fucking good. I thought things like Madagascar and Shrek the Third were good movies as a kid, and now I realize they're not. But I have nostalgic for it, doesn't mean it's good. I hate that argument so much, but whatever. Strange World is a movie that wants to have two different morals, and both of them don't connect with each other. It has a very bland world that's supposed to be unique, but just comes off as just pink. There's nothing wrong with the color pink, but one of the characters literally say, wow, this world is very colorful, the colors are amazing. The only color I see is fucking pink, and the little bit of yellow from those creatures there. It's pink! That's not colorful! It looks like fucking inside someone's mouth! Spoiler alert, it is inside of someone's body. A giant turtle, I guess. Wow. Amazing. So this movie has the amazing, brand new idea of family drama. Traumatic. Wow. Hey, you ever see an animated film by Disney with generational trauma in it? No? Well, this is easily one of the worst ones they did. It's terrible. But it also wants to be a movie about global warming and how we're destroying the planet, which is also a turtle, I guess. But that one is shoved to the side. That comes off as kind of like half-ass, like, oh wow, we're saving the planet thing from the 90s. Wow, amazing. You kind of know this movie's going to be bad from the very start, because the opening is just terrible. Like, it's quickly revealed that our main character, who is not this woman, but not that guy, this guy who looks like the most generic Disney protagonist of all time, and of course the film's going to swap him over to some random blonde guy I'm trying to talk about him. This guy, you know what his name is? His name is Searcher. What the fuck is a fucking stupid-ass name like Searcher? Should have called him Generic Protagonist-io, voiced by a generic celebrity voice actor, because that's what he is. This movie focuses pretty much entirely on human characters, which, back in the old CGI days, we wouldn't see as much, which is not a problem, except for the fact these character designs are just terrible. Now, you may like some of the character designs in this movie and the elements. I do not. Every character's eyes look weird. Like, they're really oddly small and shaped weird. It's just strange. I guess what they call it, Strange World. Every character has the same dumb blob nose and the same oval-shaped eyes. I mean, not really, but they don't like the eyes. I don't know why. The oval shape just looks so wrong. It just bothers me so much. It's so uncanny. Reminds me of this generic stock art you see in the school walls back in the day, that they actually still have, with the weird faces and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. I think the strangest thing is the framing device of the intro of the movie is like it's supposed to be an old-timey film / old comic book thing, but nothing about the film really suggests that it feels that way. Like, this film was trying to go for an Atlantis vibe, which is kind of strange, seeing as Atlantis didn't do that well for Disney, but now they're trying to do it again, but way worse. They're like, oh, that film had an old-timey feel, like Treasure Planet as well. We'll try doing that, but not really, because something about this film feels like it's from the past. The fact is that they have, why they're doing that makes no sense, because everything else about the film feels like it's modern day, so I have no idea why they would even do that. Nothing about the world, the themes, or the characters makes it feel like it's an old-timey comic strip or old-timey film, so I have no idea why they even use that as a framing device. If you're gonna, what's the point of even doing that? I don't get it. There is not a single comic book in the world that would have any of these characters in them. Trust me. I know. So what is the plot of this movie? Well, it's kinda lame as hell. It's about a kid and his father who don't get along, and then they immediately ditch each other at the very beginning. Like, wow, there's no build to that at all. Like, that's the main crux position of the film, is the relationship between these characters, and their original falling off point is barely glanced over. Like, the dad wants to go across the mountains, because I guess that's what he does, and he doesn't give a shit about anybody else. You're supposed to, I guess, relate to that, but I don't. The other guy's like, wow, there's plants here! Let's grow plants! Which makes no sense. Eventually, the plants are useful, but nothing about them right now showcases anything useful about them. So they immediately have one argument, and they're like, fuck you, I've never seen you again, which they don't. Like, wow, that was quick. That was 5 minutes in this movie. It would have been nice to see the relationship beforehand, to see how it got to that point, and then see later how they reacted later, if that's what they really want to do with the film, which is what they do, but then they're like, fuck that, we were to just showcase other shit. Maybe they got a creative way to harvest these electric plants. No, it's just a shovel with a hole in it. Yeah, that's very interesting. They give people light, I guess, but who gives a shit about that? Because they aren't even a focus of the film. Since most of the film is focused on the generational trauma, any of the other things, like the global warming or the, save the planet stuff, is barely in the film. Like, I actually wouldn't mind seeing that, but because the film decides that, oh, fuck that, we'll do the same generational trauma story over and over again. Fuck you. Because of that, this quote-unquote strange world is pretty underdeveloped. There are some things that move around, and I guess that's kind of trippy, but it's nothing that interesting to see. The main sidekick is just a blue blob. That's not really interesting. Just her plant had a blob that could transform into different things. That was cool. But this is just a blue blob that doesn't talk and just whatever. Yeah, who cares? Like, the most I get from the strange world is that things move around and it's very pink and they sometimes want to kill you, but not really, and they're part of an organ system, I guess. There's pterodactyl things, and that's about it. Yeah, very, very interesting there. And they're weak to the electrical plant because that's destroying the planet, which is a weird thing. I know, yeah, electricity, the CO2 in the atmosphere, but it's combining it with actual green planting in real life, which doesn't make any sense. The correlation doesn't make sense. Now that they're oil farming, they're planting crops. Why would they do this? It doesn't make any sense. Even the second message of the film doesn't work because the whole problem is caused by farming electricity like in a green way. It doesn't give you any alternatives to it. It just says stop. What? I don't get it. Oh wait, at the very end they show a thing that has wind that creates power, I guess, now. Not that it matters, because who gives a shit about these other characters? Yeah, for a movie like this to work, it needs to have like a bunch of different unique characters, which sometimes could be a bad thing. But this film, in order for some of its plot points to work, needs to have more characters. Because it's so focused on the generational trauma thing, there's barely any characters they focus on. Just the main family, which is, we find that's what's the main focus. But the main focus is about global warming and the environment, so it doesn't work. How will it affect the rest of the world without electricity and power, but they need to stop it? Will that cause any drama? Kind of, but not really. Everything seems to be fine at the end. Like, who cares? The one guy's like, oh, I'm giving up my whole life because I've grown these plants, but it seems like everything's fine. They immediately found another form of power. Well, the people are just happy because I guess they lost power, but then again, this is a weird world where there's nothing they use electricity for because it's old, but it's new. Like, oh, this movie makes no fucking sense! So most of the movie is this relationship between the guy and his father, but also his own son, who is gay. But the thing is, that's barely a part of the movie. Since the old guy is like an assertive guy who cares about conservative-like things, you'd think he would be disapproving of that, but he's not. So that could have been an interesting drama point, but it's not. Disney just like, oh, here's some little, we did a little thing here, the character's gay. That was the main juxtaposition of this movie that people talked about. Oh, there's a first character that's actually gay in a Disney movie, which would be fine, but it barely had any focus on it. And the character we see, his love interest, is like barely in the movie. Like, wow, this guy has ugly-ass hair, he's hot as hell, I guess, and I like to date him. I'm gonna tell my grandfather who's conservative about it. Oh my, he's supportive? That's kind of strange, doesn't fit his character. Oh well. This guy, whose name is Jigger Cleed, by the way, everything about him is like an extreme conservative asshole type character, except for the fact he's open about that. I know this movie doesn't want to have villains, which makes no sense, because everything about this film showcases that it really should have one, but yeah, this guy should be your villain. Because these people don't change, they don't grow. Sorry, that's how it is in real life. I know a bunch of these people. Old asshole guys who think it's best to ruin everything for everyone else because they're selfish assholes exist. Stop pretending they don't exist, Disney. Oh, this board game section is so painfully bad. One of this board game looks like the worst fucking board game in the fucking world. The kid's like, there's no villains in this game. What? What do you mean, no villains? They have to get in this movie that villains actually don't exist in real life. We just gotta get together and work things out. Disney, you have your own villains in real life! In this movie, also to be about global warming, there are obvious assholes. Fucking billionaire companies who ruin the economy to make their own profit and mine for shit they don't need to, and instead of going for green alternative resources, those are the fucking villains. But you don't fucking focus on that, you fucking stupid ass fucking movie! As you can see, this movie fucking pissed me off. This scene is so bad. Like, so bad. And the dumbest thing is the grandson doesn't care that his actual father and grandfather are actually getting along during this one scene because they're not playing his game right. Because they want, to kill the demon spider. So this kid must really hate Dungeons and Dragons, I guess, because that's the whole point of that game, is to fight villains and enemies, because that's how you're supposed to work. Overcoming an obstacle together, but no, apparently you have to build a resource around a fucking demon spider. What the fuck kind of bullshit is this? Fuck this kid. And seriously, fuck this movie. movie. Also, I gotta admit, the voice acting isn't very good in this film. Well, from one character, this random woman character. This woman character is like the president who becomes a villain randomly near the end, but then not really because this film, like I said, doesn't have a villain. Stop! Just put villains back in your Disney movie. I'm gonna regret saying that in the next movie. But seriously, just actually have a villain, please. She has a crew that do nothing throughout the entire movie because fuck them, I guess. The whole crew, though, it never gets any focus. Like, I think one guy has a terrible line where he fucks it, fails at parroting the one kid or whatever. I think this woman's voiced by Lucy Liu, and she cannot voice act. I think she was in Kung Fu Panda, whatever, but her character barely said anything. But her tone is kind of like this. I was like, what? Like, come on, how are these people? Stop hiring celebrities that are so out of date they can't even fucking voice act. Like, come on. Yeah, I really don't like this film, and I don't think anyone else really likes it either. Is there any Strange World fans out there? Let me know. I'm sure someone will come out like, this movie's actually a masterpiece. Well, it's a masterpiece, how come we didn't go see it? Because it bombed terribly. The only thing I can say this film did well is it actually had a first open gay character in the beginning of the film. Like I said, it's barely mentioned, and there really should have been more conflict around it. I know not everything needs to have conflict, but you have an asshole conservative type character in the movie that just was open to it, which makes no sense to me, because I know these people in real life. They're fucking assholes. I fucking hate them. The generational trauma in the movie isn't done very well, and it distracts from the more interesting idea of actually having a unique environmental plot with a plant that's actually alive, but they don't really give a shit about that because they rather have the same boring generational trauma story they do over and over and over and over again, which subtracts from literally everything, from having interesting side characters, interesting sidekicks, an interesting world, an interesting in-game lore, in-movie lore. Everything about this film falls flat on its face. I'm never watching this piece of shit again. Maybe I will in the future, but not anytime soon. Strange World bombed so bad that there is no way this film is getting anything else other than just one film-related thing. Even the Once Upon a Studio thing, only the fucking Slimeball got a cameo, really, in it, because no one else cared about the characters in these films. So another bad Disney movie with morals that suck ass. I mean, look at those side characters that did nothing throughout the entire film. They don't even know what their fucking names are. If you want to watch a Disney film with generational trauma, watch Encanto. If you want to watch an adventure film that go to a strange mystical world that's kind of set in the old-timey area, go watch Atlantis. Don't watch Strange World. And that is the end of the review, and this is the only tier list we're getting, because there's, like I said, no villains, there's no princesses to rank. I guess I could do a sidekick tier list, but who cares? And there's zero songs, not even credit songs. So I guess it's painless in that regard. Strange World is a film that maybe we'll get some people who watched it once as a kid and they say, I actually like that, but I don't know. I just can't see anyone really enjoying this film. Even for, like, actually having representation, that's nice. But other than that, the film falls flat in so many areas. It's just not a fun film to look at. The characters suck. It just fails at its morals, lessons, what it's trying to do. Everything about it falls flat. Ugh, that one character's voice acting is so bad, and I can't stand the character's eyes. But yeah, Strange World, it's worse than Chicken Little. I'd rather watch Chicken Little again. That one's bad enough that I'd rather watch it again. Home on the Range and Rock Big Internet are the only ones that it's better than, because those films really have no redeeming qualities. Like I said, a bad sequel will be better than that. We got 2 Disney films left to do. The next one, I already viewed, but I guess I'm going to have to redo it, I guess. So next time I'm going to be reviewing Wish.